Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredibly, fantastically, wonderful, marvelously, and epically amazing day. To start things off, I have some bad news and then I kinda got some good news. Bank of America's top US economist said on Thursday, or he warned on Thursday, that the country is now in a recession. In a note to investors, CNBC reported that Michelle Mayer wrote in a letter to the company's clients that the U.S. economy is in a deep plunge brought on by the C word. Can't read the rest of that. They said, "We are officially declaring that the economy has fallen into a recession, joining the rest of the world, and it is a deep plunge." Mayer reportedly wrote, "Jobs will be lost, wealth will be destroyed, and confidence depressed." Mayer did also write that while the decline is severe, we believe it will be fairly short-lived. The solution to the economic slowdown, she continued, was aggressive economic stimulus action taken in the next few weeks. They said, when it comes to policy response, there should be no upper bound for the size of stimulus in our view. Of course they would say that, because they benefit from the stimulus. They get billions pushed into their market. The point being, this is major news, as one might expect. For the sake of saving everyone 1,001 tabs at the top, I only have 2 of them over here. It says Bank of America and U.S. economists say nation is officially in a recession. This is incredibly major news. We have had indications of this for a while now. However, it appears to be official. There are many other places in the world that were already signaling or saying that they were in a recession, and this is why we had the news a couple of days ago that they were also trying to push billions of dollars into their own markets or load up the printing presses so that the other industries could be saved. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much more to say. We knew that, I assumed that this was going to befall us. Is that the way to say it? That this was going to happen eventually, sooner or later. But it's here. On the other side of that coin, which is probably the most interesting thing in the entire world, Bitcoin is up. It says, the bullish sentiment back? Question mark. Bitcoin has been surging by 8.4% at press time. The sudden increase in its price has pushed the price of the largest cryptocurrency up to $6,600 US. There's a little chart right there. As you might expect, this is also turning a few heads because Bitcoin was dropping just a couple of days ago. And it's very weird that, and I'll tell you exactly why it's a little weird that the price is now going up, especially if you remember a couple of days ago, we had the news that the price of the cryptocurrency market going down. I don't want to use the word fraudulent, but it was pushed around by whales is probably a nicer way to say it. And it's these really weird times because, okay, bear with me on this one. We've seen before in the past that whenever, historically, if there's an issue or has been an issue in Cyprus, in Italy, maybe even countries departing from other countries, and the economy for that day has not done as well, Bitcoin typically, historically goes up in price. I'm not talking about a 28, 39, 45% up in price, a good uptick around 3 to 7%. So the fact that we were having indications that the traditional financial market was going down or was potentially going to continue to go down and Bitcoin's price was also following next to it is really weird. Because at the same exact time we were having all that news about the narratives of Bitcoin as a golden safe haven also kind of fleeing and stuff like that, which really didn't make a lot of sense because that also means, because the news that we had from a couple of days ago, talking really fast, the news that we had from a couple of days ago was also that the cryptocurrency market was going down because of the whales, which means that the actual plunge in the cryptocurrency market prices wasn't real. It was all completely fake. I said, and this is why I so much going on. This is why I think, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the stuff happening within the cryptocurrency market is very odd because we've had indications before if something bad is happening in the traditional market that Bitcoin goes up. So the fact that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency prices were going down as the rest of the market was going down, and then we know that it was fake, means that Bitcoin's price has been artificially pushed down. It should probably be a lot higher than it currently is. And this is why I think that, especially a move going down from 10,000 to Didn't we fall like near like 4,000 or 5,000 or something really weird like that? And then Bitcoin's actually only up 8.4% in the last hour. That's not even in the last 24 hours. I think it's like a 22% increase or something like that, which means that, of course, in my view, whales pushed the price down, got everyone really scared. It went down as far as humanly possible, as far as they could push it down. And then they just ended up buying back up once all over again. For those of you who got that dip, congratulations. I FOMO'd really hard yesterday into the market. I'm glad I did. It was around like 53, 5,400. I saw like this little like spike up in price, and I was texting, I think 3 or 4 friends, and I was like, did you buy? Have you bought? You gonna buy? And we were all talking like maybe it's gonna dip back down to below 5,000. And I couldn't hold back. I had to buy, and luckily, one of the rare few times where I buy and then the price continues going up, it just continued shooting up. And I assumption, this is because we now have, I mean, when you have other countries officially in recessions, when you have the largest market in the world, or rather banks from that market saying that there's, you know, officially in recession, I think it's just Bitcoin reacting normally, because this is why I got a little annoyed the other day when we were talking about the Bitcoin as a safe haven asset thing, or like the entire narrative being completely torn apart, because Bitcoin as of right now like isn't a safe haven asset. It's probably going to be sometime in the future, but Bitcoin right now is when you can be when your price can be moved around by whales, other people just moving around coins on cryptocurrency exchanges, even pushing down the prices like we've seen over the last couple of days. It's not a fragile market, but it's a market that isn't as strong as it potentially could be. And I think the market will be extremely strong after this halving and the next halving in 2024. But it's always this. I'm going to leave this thought right here. We've seen before that whenever the markets, other traditional markets, do badly, Bitcoin performs well. So I assume this is just a normal reaction, because as of right now, this article, of course, just came out. There's no real indication as to why Bitcoin's price is up, but I'm going to assume it's probably up because recession news. The timing fits almost perfectly, especially over the last 24 hours when we got this news. On top of this as well, Ether, the world's second largest cryptocurrency by market cap, has bull blood flowing through its veins. That I don't think that's a phrase. The currency is trading for roughly 142 US dollars, more than $20 higher than where it stood yesterday, and is up by more than 20%. Ethereum has been hit hard over the past 2 weeks, and while its present numbers don't compare with the $282 price it was sporting in mid-February, even the $1,400 price it had a couple of years ago, the currency is roughly $36 higher than its March 16 low of $106, the lowest it had been in over a year. I was taught, oh my gosh, I have a couple of friends too. Oh yeah, an actual couple, 2 people who are really into Ethereum, and they were waiting for an $80 Ethereum. Oh boy, this is why I say sometimes it's better just to not wait. I think a lot of people keep trying to price in these really low numbers or where they think the price is going to go. It's difficult sometimes because you never, I mean, the cryptocurrency market is the weirdest market I think I've ever been in my entire life. There's no real indications for anything. And even price movements sometimes don't make a lot of sense, especially if they're going down. But Ethereum is up by 20%. I want to say it's maybe up because we're getting relatively close to Ethereum 2.0, which I believe is scheduled for summer. I hope that's still in the cards, but I have a feeling it's more up because Bitcoin is up. There hasn't been a huge amount of Ethereum news in the front end, like on our side, that would have caused the public to really like, oh my gosh, Ethereum's going up, to put their money into the market. But I have a feeling it's more just a drag up, if you will, from Bitcoin. And of course, on top of this as well, it says Ripple price bullish action on Thursday, okay, was just the beginning of an extended recovery with the bull's eye at 25 cents. Recovery from last week's dip to 10 cents stalled in a narrow range between 14 cents and 15 cents for several days. However, widespread bullish pressure on Thursday saw the bulls take on the resistance at 15 and 16 cents. The bullish action extended to 17, hit by a wall of 17.4. Leaving the key hurdle at 18 untested. The point is, the entire cryptocurrency market is going up. Usually, 99% of the time when crypto prices are going up, It's usually just focused on Bitcoin, Ether, and XRP. You're usually hard-pressed to find articles talking about EOS went up, Lumens went up, Litecoin went up. But yeah, the market as of now, our market, is doing fairly well. This one says, here's how high Bitcoin's price may go if 6,400 becomes new support. We were 200 above that. I think it's more of a, if we can close the day, air quotes, the day above like 65, I think the market could potentially do very well. But then, of course, always the market should be doing, I mean, the last 4 or 5 weeks, we should have had a record pump in Bitcoin prices, especially with tons of people around. Like, this isn't like this is why I always have to mention that this isn't a you and your friends kind of thing. Like, Bitcoin is actually global. There are other countries, many of which you may have never heard of or can't even spell or can't point to them on a map. People there are buying up Bitcoin in mass. Like, they're buying up cryptocurrencies in an effort because they know that their local currencies are crumbling. There are a couple of places, I won't even mention any names. I have a friend who's into real estate in a couple of countries, and he told me that things aren't looking too well. He told me last week that he said that his bosses and managers were kind of like, I hope you saved up some of your last paychecks, because it's pretty clear that the housing market may not fare very well over the next couple of months. Worldwide currencies are not doing too good. And as such, when people see that they're losing money, they tend to, at least over the last 6-7 years, put their money into Bitcoin. So yeah, this is why Bitcoin's price going down was kind of a really weird thing. I won't tell you where I think Bitcoin should be. It's not anything crazy like, I think Bitcoin should be $95 million. I think anything over 10,000 at this point is relatively realistic, just based off of the institutional investors that we know who are definitely in the space. All of you out there who I know have been buying, my friends who have been buying, like, there's not actually 18 million Bitcoin out there circulating. Like, we know this for a fact. And even if there was, we know that there are tons of millionaires and billionaires out there who hold 1%, 2% of all Bitcoin, 7% of all Bitcoin, 200,000 Bitcoin. We know the big numbers. Anyway, this one says Bitcoin surges amid high volatility in the global market, but the danger is not over yet. Just always something to keep in mind. We never know what's going to happen with prices. I tell you now, 3 weeks ago, none of us saw Bitcoin going from 10,000 to news articles talking about a dip to 3 to 1,000. None of us saw that happening because the market is, as long as whales are attempting to gather up as much Bitcoin as humanly possible, I think we will continue to see scenarios like this. But I think any major Bitcoin movement down is usually, in my opinion, just like fear-induced based. Especially, what was the news that we had a couple of days ago? Sorry, I'm going crazy. The news that we had a couple of days ago was that the people who were selling were people who had been in the market since December. Like, all the older wallets, the people who had been accumulating, hadn't sold any. And you probably are glad that you didn't. I think I saw one comment with someone who said that they sold as it actually hit the bottom, and they were trying to buy back in, and they were asking people in the comment section, when should they buy back? Satoshis are very precious. I don't mean that as a joke. There are very few of them. So, yeah, I don't sell anything because I refuse to be that pizza guy. Anyway, that's the bad recession, and then good prices going up news for today. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, it says trading volumes are booming on primary and secondary Bitcoin exchanges as Google searches for the #1 crypto skyrocket, indicating that to some degree, a panic-induced flight to Bitcoin may be in its early stages after the global economy's recent capitulation. Real trading volumes have rocketed on the Bitwise 24-hour spot volume index, on Friday standing at $5.7 billion, one of the largest days ever recorded by the San Francisco-based asset manager. Bitwise pitches its Bitcoin spot volume index as the industry's, I can't read, most accurate, with the data purportedly being cleansed of fake and or non-economic wash trading. Sure. The index reads 2.6 billion at the time of press, putting it near a 7-day high of average trading volume ever recorded by Bitwise, which came in at $3 billion in July of last year. There is, of course, a huge amount of interest in the Bitcoin market right now. Anyone saying otherwise is just lying to themselves. I saw so many, there's like 3 people. The people who keep commenting every single time that Bitcoin goes down and that gold is great and gold is amazing, and as gold's price was going down, you didn't hear a gosh darn word from them. The amount of people who around the world are getting into Bitcoin right now, who are already buying, who have been buying, and even the major indicator for a lot of this is whenever we get new people into the market. You're already in the market. I'm already in the market. So is a bunch of my other friends and family. They already have Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, or they're buying up little fractions of it as time ends up going on. The idea is that we're constantly getting new people every single day into the Bitcoin space because other economies are not doing very well. And even more so, these economies weren't doing well before the recession. Like there's a lot of economies around the world who are already garbage. They're just stinky garbage now. And if current events continue over the next couple of weeks and or months, we are going to see an event unlike anything that we've ever seen before, because a lot of what we saw in 2008 and 2009 was never fixed. Money was just printed and it was given to banks and institutions. Now imagine if you didn't fix your problems. Like imagine you broke your leg in 2008. You've been limping around this whole time, and then somebody hits you with a tree branch. You're not going to do like 5-10 tree branches over the course of a week. You're not going to do really well. And this is kind of what's happening right now. And this is why I think, I don't want to use the word wrong. I think it's annoying that there are people, whales out there who push the prices down just so they can accumulate more. But I had to have I had to have a conversation with myself before. Imagine a situation now here we go. Especially when we're getting a lot of news and reports. Remember all those banks that we were talking about before? What was it? 1, 2, 3 months ago? It was a German bank. It was a Swiss bank. I think 1 or 2 American banks and a whole bunch of other analyzers who had all said that by the end of this year or the end of next year, that Bitcoin will be anywhere between 50, 80 to 100,000 US dollars. If Bitcoin's price was 5,000, like I said, here's why I had to say, would I do this as well? If you had $20 million and you put it into Bitcoin at $5,000, and at the end of next year or even this year, Bitcoin's at 100,000 US dollars, and what was that 2020? You would have around $400 million. You would probably do the exact same thing. So this is why it's kind of like I think it's because I don't currently have $20 million to throw into just Bitcoin. Is like this, it's not anger, it's annoyance when they push prices down, but they're also trying to be mega, super, ultra wealthy. Anyway, we'll see exactly where this all leads, goes to. We are a couple of weeks away from the Bitcoin halving. It's a frighteningly exciting time in human history. That's all I can pretty much say. I'm really interested to see how this is all going to play out. If markets continue to not do well, traditional financial markets, and Bitcoin's halving happens, and we see a rush of people, like if the global financial markets right now continue to falter for the next 4 to 8 weeks, rough number, imagine if Bitcoin starts getting near $10,000 while all of that is happening, and Bitcoin makes it into the news, and like this huge amount of like hype and energy starts filling the market again. And imagine if Bitcoin shot past 10, 15,000. Like it's all these things that kind of go through my head, and they're not that far from happening. So much of the movement downs that we've seen before, even when Bitcoin was at 14,000, it was moved down by whales. When Bitcoin was at 10,000, it was moved down by whales. It's all these things over and over. And I wonder at what point will the scales tip? Because for those of you who weren't here in 2017, I remember looking at the charts as the cryptocurrency market was going up, and there was one day, and I remember this as well, where XRP I think had just I think it was nearing $1 or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. And there were so many people on the channel telling me to like make a video about it. And I was waiting because I told people at the beginning of the year that XRP was going to go over at least $1.50. And it was this really weird moment where I remember seeing XRP going up. It was 89 cents, 92 cents, 94 cents. And I remember like it started going down and I was like, it's not done. It hit 97 cents and then it hit 99 cents. Before it could hit that dollar, the sell orders on the side went completely insane and they were massive numbers. People were selling off like 400,000 XRP, 700,000 XRP, trying to get desperately to get the price to go down. It dipped to, I think, 93 cents. About a good minute and a half later, it was over $1. And all those sell orders have been completely wiped out because everyone was buying up as much XRP as possible. It just, it's these moments. And to put it into context, or rather to explain myself, it's more like I wonder when that's going to happen for Bitcoin, because there's so much effort, coordinated effort to keep the prices down so that people can buy up as much as possible and accumulate more and stuff like that. But it's going to get to a point where people are like, okay, they sold, buy up as much as possible. And that's when the price ends up going completely insane because, yeah, I'm out of breath. My gosh, very exciting times. Anyway, the trading volumes in the cryptocurrency market are doing extremely well. We'll see exactly. Is today Friday? It's Friday. I mean, doesn't really mean anything because can't leave the house. But yeah, that's the market trading global interest money Bitwise Bitcoin XRP price news for today. Let's move on. Next up, according to an announcement on the 16th of March, crypto derivatives provider Bakkt had Series B funding and they completed and they ended up getting a $300 million fund. It says overhaul, but I feel like overhaul isn't the right word there. The firms that backed this financial round include the Intercontinental Exchange, of course, Microsoft's M12, PayU, Boston Consulting Group, Goldfinch Partners, CMT Digital, and Pantera Capital. Moreover, Bakkt CEO Mike Bladina revealed today that through a blog post that the Bitcoin Futures Exchange firm closed another successful funding event. The Bakkt Series B funding round managed to garner $300 million from major companies. We already read the names. Moreover, Bladina added that the derivatives firm has already added to its staff members and is continuing to move forward. He wrote, "With the completion of our Series B financing and the recent acquisition of Bridge2 Solutions, Bakkt is now a team of 350 employees and powers the loyalty redemption program for 7 of the 10 top financial institutions and over 4,500 loyalty and incentive programs, including 2 of the largest U.S. airlines." Wow, that's wonderful. I'd expected in no way that Bakkt would lose money. I'm not surprised that they got $300 million. I assume if there's another round of funding, they may get close to $500 million, especially if the cryptocurrency market is doing relatively well. Tying directly into that news, we have a major digital asset platform is making it easier to order that double espresso with an extra shot. Starbucks mobile app users will soon be given the opportunity to pay for their drinks with Bakkt Cash. Intercontinental Exchange, or ICE, parent company of the Bitcoin derivatives provider, has declared back in August 2018 that the coffee giant was looking at retail applications for crypto payments. Today, Bakkt President Adam White announced the new payment integration with Starbucks on Twitter. He said those words. I'm not going to read all that stuff, and there's a little photo right there. Bakkt, considered one of the most promising crypto-based initiatives, recently raised $300 million, there we go, in a funding round to develop money. The funds come at a time when both the crypto and stock market are tumultuous due to something happening. Can't read that. Through the use of Bakkt Cash. No, wait, though the use of Bakkt Cash might eventually be available to all users of the mobile app, White emphasized that customers had to sign up for the platform's early access program to take advantage of the new payment integration. According to sources available to Cointelegraph, Bakkt said the crypto payment option is only in limited beta for now. So I wonder exactly how that's going to take place. you probably, I think on the thing right here, you have to click on, I want to pay in backed cash. And I guess that goes through your cryptocurrency wallet. I don't know why they, I dare say I hope that they haven't done this, but I have a strange feeling they're trying to make backed cash a thing, wherein you may be able to pay in crypto, but it may have to go through backed cash as like another thing, and then it ends up hitting their network, and then it ends up being... The point is, apparently the partnership with Starbucks is in full bloom. It's a go. There were many other companies who also were being integrated with Bakkt as well. Can't remember all their names. It was like 30 companies. So yeah, that's the Bakkt news for today. They got more money, and they now have direct integration with Starbucks. So you can buy your lattes with Bitcoin. Don't do that. Don't give up your Bitcoin. Don't do it. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, clients of one of crypto lending companies. Clients of one of crypto's lending... People always missing S's and commas. And clients of one of crypto's lending companies may soon notice that some changes in response to the recent drops in the market. Starting on the 1st of April, BlockFi will be raising the interest rate amounts on Bitcoin and Ether. According to CEO Zach Prince, wow, BlockFi users holding between holding between 0 to 5 Bitcoin will now earn a 6% annual percentage yield, while those with up to 500 Ether will earn 4.5%. Stablecoins like Gemini and the US dollar coin will retain their 8.6% APY interest rates. With the recent Bitcoin crash caused, therefore, the decision to raise interest rates is unexpected when considering how traditional financial institutions are reacting to these changes in the market. Even in the US, the Federal Reserve has cut rates to 0%. A lot of people, I think this is going to be a continuing trend, of course, have been trying to figure out how to make money on their crypto without having to get rid of their crypto. This year, thus far, and maybe, maybe. Like the very end of last year, we've seen a huge uptick in the amount of companies who are offering interest rates on crypto. These are not bad rates. First of all, first. What is it? First of all, if you are going to use any platform like this, there are many searches you can do on Google or however you get your searches done. See if these are legitimate platforms. Just because there's an article written about them, just because I talk about them, just because whatever. One, not affiliated with this thing. I do not take paid affiliations on this channel. If you've been here before, you know this already. 2, always do your own research. 3, make sure that you do enough research to figure out if this is actually real. If other people have had their money on these websites, if you can take your money out, if you actually still own your money. I know that sounds weird, but a lot of places you actually deposit your crypto and there's no real crypto for you. Not even joking. And if other people have been able to, after they've gotten these interest rates, have been able to pull their money out. Because there are, I think Coinbase also has something like this as well. Being able to have your Bitcoin or your Ether on a website or having someone else, whatever, use it, and then you make 6%, and imagine Bitcoin itself goes up by 35% that entire year, you've made a good chunk of change. The other point being, a lot of these websites I've noticed, because a lot of people are very interested in other ways of making money, especially if we do end up having a traditional economic downturn, you want to make sure that if you are giving these people your cryptocurrencies, and they're using it to trade, invest, make profits, lend it out to other people, whatever the case might be. If their systems go down or break, fall apart, they get hacked, they whatever, that you still get your cryptocurrency back. That is a very important thing, and a lot of people forget that. A lot of people think you can simply dump it onto a website and it magically makes more money itself. No, someone is doing something with that money that you gave them. They're investing it, they're putting it in so-and-so, they're doing flash loans, they're doing this kind of loan, they're giving it to some other person to be able to pay that money back. The issue is if they don't pay it back, or if their website goes down or something else, your coins are probably gone. So This is a huge rising trend. A lot of people like this. A lot of people have started to use these things. Just make sure that it is legitimate, that you can take your money off at any time. That's also a very important part. And that, yeah, I think that's maybe, you know, just research it. A lot of people keep forgetting that things can go wrong. I don't want to say that. Anyway, let us move on from that topic. And to finish things off, on Wednesday, Binance announced that its peer-to-peer trading platform will now support 5 Latin American currencies. They are the Brazilian real, the Argentinian peso, the Colombian peso, the Mexican peso, and the Peruvian sol. Binance's peer-to-peer platform was first launched in October 2019 on Binance's mobile apps. Then on the 28th of February of this year, Binance said the platform had become available on the web. In a press release shared with Crypto Globe, Binance said that from today, it is possible to buy, sell Bitcoin with 0 transaction fees, Bitcoin, Ether, stablecoins, Tether, Binance Coin, and Binance USD using the aforementioned 5 currencies on its peer-to-peer platform. Cool. That's another 5 currencies. I think Binance is at least up to, was it 50 currencies at this point? Yeah, that's, I mean, it's not major news, but I mean, if you're listening from one of these countries and you've been looking for an easier way to be able to acquire Bitcoin, Ether, Tether, Binance Coin, Boost, or any other thing, there you go. Binance, for those of you who don't know, said at the beginning of this year, their goal was to, what was it? I think have a fiat gateway for every single fiat on this planet. They're well on their way. It's still March. I think they have like 1/3 of all the countries on the planet already. Anyway, that's the Binance news for today. And yeah, let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. They are Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Yasha Harari, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Steuer, Josh Gorsica, Chongololo Tsongololo, Mr. Pickles, John Sarson, Nostromo, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Bare Bones Mining, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Wise Night Owl, Jared Schneider, Brady Niels, Master Ventures in Thailand, Mohair Moroni, 242, To the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Mill Wheezy, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Nicholas Renerth, One Piece, One Love, Damien, Setsuna, Richie Rich the Third, Nick Kanaya, Vlad the Impaler, Krypton Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Chest every single day, and Cal has weak legs. Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arfmedic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and hold on, I have to sneeze. Thank you all very, very much for your support, and thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel who has clicked the little join button below. First thing, what is Tether Euro? Why is it at $1.08? And why does it have $95 of 24-hour trading volume? That's the first thing. Second, you don't know because you weren't in my room, but this is my second time making this video. I had a situation where midway through the video, I'm not joking, a pigeon almost slammed into the window, and I got so freaked out that I had to stop the video. It was the craziest thing in the entire world. It did like that, like really weird, like flutter thing where like it gets really close, but like the bird can tell that it's about to slam into something. Like its feet goes up and it's like, I don't want to die. And like the wings were flapping and stuff like that. And I looked at it all happening as I was making the other video, and I stopped talking for about a good 8 seconds as this perilous thing was happening. And then I realized about a good 30 seconds into the video, I had just stopped talking. Like there was just no noise. So had to start over, if you will, so you didn't all hear me shrieking at this bird about to slam into my home. At the moment, the cryptocurrency market's up. Everything except for Tether is in the green. Bitcoin is currently at 6,653 US dollars. I woke up, Bitcoin was at 6,300. It is now 300 higher. It is going to be an interesting weekend to see if this trend continues. I would not be shocked if prices were to fall. However, it's nice to see things in green, especially after everything that's been happening. Ether's up 20%, XRP is up by 13.68%, Litecoin is up by 18%, Binance Coin up by almost 22%, Tezos is up by 22%. They're all roughly floating around the same numbers. Cosmos is up by 29%. Sure. Right. Yeah, I think that's everything that I had to say, or that's roughly going on that I can remember at this moment. Very, very weird everything from front to back. Everything that's happening right now around us is strange, weird, crazy. So many unanswered questions, so many what's going ons kind of happening. Quick thank you to everyone once again for the support on the second channel. Actually talk with a lot of you on there. It's really funny. A lot of people, for those of you who don't know, like rather who haven't been there on the second channel, a lot of people like write comments. And like it's weird to talk to people through like 2 different channels. It's kind of like I talk to you on here and then over there. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for the support on the second channel. It is necessary, I think, now during all the absolute madness that's been going on. But for the moment, the market is up. Let's see if it continues to go up. If Bitcoin ends up hitting 7,000 by the end of today, I'm gonna have to hold my breath, because that is we've broken through multiple resistance levels just over the last 24 hours. Let's see if we can continue with it. I do hope that you all enjoyed. I mean, not the, as I clicked on the recession, I'm like, I hope you enjoy the recession. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. I know Friday doesn't mean much to many people in this time, but still, enjoy it. Try to do something nice at home. You know what I'm trying to say. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See